We live so much of our lives online, but we never really see the network it all runs on. The movies we stream, the texts we send, it's all powered by this invisible digital plumbing. Well, today we're going to look at how artificial intelligence is totally rebuilding that hidden world and what that means for the people who designed it in the first place. I mean, think about it. Your last video call probably felt pretty seamless, right? But behind that screen, wow. It's this incredibly complex web of hardware and software. So who are the people making sure the whole thing doesn't just, fall apart? And what happens when a massive force like AI steps into that equation? And here's the core of the problem. It's actually pretty simple. We're just creating data way, way faster than any human can possibly manage it. This data deluge has completely swamped the old way of doing things. Having people manually set up and watch over every little piece of the system. We're in the middle of a huge shift right now, moving from a world run by human hands to one that's orchestrated by AI. Okay, so before AI came along, who was actually doing all this work? Who are the folks keeping our digital world from, collapsing? Let's pull back the curtain and meet the real unsung heroes here. The infrastructure architects. First up, we've got the systems architect. The best way to think about them, they're like a high-tech city planner. Seriously, they're the ones drawing up the master blueprint, figuring out how all the different pieces, the hardware, the software, the cloud stuff, all fit together to create one big, seamless working system. All right, next up is the storage architect. And if our digital city has a city planner, it definitely needs a master librarian. That's this role. They're in charge of these absolutely massive, constantly growing libraries of data. Their job is to make sure every single byte is safe, secure, and ready to be pulled up in a split second. And rounding out our trio is the network architect. Think of them as the air traffic controller, but for data. They're the ones designing the digital superhighways, making absolutely sure that your information gets from your screen to, say, a server halfway across the world, and that it gets there fast and safe. So these three roles, right, they've been the absolute bedrock of IT for decades. But remember that data deluge we talked about? Well, it's made their jobs almost impossibly complex. They needed a new tool, a new force multiplier, and this is where AI comes into the picture. It's the ultimate game changer. So how does AI actually do this? It's actually a pretty simple three-step process, which is kind of cool. First, it just ingests and analyzes these colossal amounts of data. Then, its real superpower is finding patterns and weird anomalies that a human being could never, ever spot. And finally, based on that, it automates all the boring routine tasks and constantly fine-tunes the system so it's always running at its best. And you know where this change is the most dramatic? Cybersecurity. For years, security has always been reactive. You wait for an attack to happen, and then you scramble to respond. Well, AI completely flips that script. It turns security into a proactive hunter, always on the lookout, searching for vulnerabilities and shutting down threats before they can do any damage. Okay, so what does all this behind-the-scenes wizardry actually mean for you, for me, for all of us? Well, it means faster downloads. It means smoother streaming, way less of that annoying buffering. And maybe most importantly, it means your data is a whole lot safer, because the system is now always on guard, actively defending itself 24/7. But wait. This brings up a huge question, right? If AI is doing so much of the heavy lifting, what happens to our human architects? Are their jobs just going away? And the answer is a big, clear no. This isn't about replacement at all. It's about evolution. It's about a brand new kind of partnership. I mean, let's be real. Their roles have been evolving for years. In the past, it was all about physical hardware. Actual racks of servers humming away in a cold room. Then it became all about the cloud and virtualization. And the future? Well, the future is all about AI-powered orchestration. They're shifting from being the ones with their hands on the keyboard building everything to being the strategic conductors. And this kind of evolution, it requires a completely new toolkit. Yeah, the core skills like networking are still absolutely vital, but they're not enough anymore. The new foundation, It's built on data science, machine learning, and automation. And let me be clear, these aren't just nice to have extras. They are essential. So this is what the new job really looks like in practice. It's this constant upward evolution. It started with literally plugging things in, manual configuration. Then it moved to writing scripts to automate some of that work. And now it's hitting this whole new level, orchestration. The architect isn't just a player in the orchestra anymore. They're the conductor, leading the whole AI-powered symphony. So when you put all these different pieces together, the future starts to look pretty clear, doesn't it? It's a world that's built on this powerful partnership between human strategy and AI automation. And the result of that partnership? A smarter, faster, and way safer digital world for every single one of us. And the results we're seeing from this partnership? They're honestly staggering. Let's just look at the raw numbers. First off, insecurity. AI can slash the number of false alerts by 75%. I mean, think about what that means. It frees up the human experts to stop chasing digital ghosts and focus their energy on the threats that are actually real. Then you've got the money side of things, the financial impact. With this kind of intelligent automation, companies can potentially cut their infrastructure costs by up to 50%. That is a massive, game-changing level of efficiency. It frees up huge amounts of money that could be poured back into innovation. And look, don't make the mistake of thinking this is some far-off, distant future. No way. This shift is happening right now as we speak. A mind-blowing 90% of organizations are expected to be using AI in their IT infrastructure by 2025. This isn't just a trend, people. This is a full-blown revolution. Ultimately, this all boils down to one single, really powerful idea, and it's captured perfectly in the source material for this explainer. It's that IT professionals should embrace AI as a partner, not a replacement. That's the key. It's all about making humans better at their jobs, not making them obsolete. And so, all of this leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to think about. If AI is going to start building and maintaining our digital world for us, then who is going to build the AI? You see, the architect's job isn't disappearing. It's just evolving into maybe the most important job of all.